here. Today, we're going to learn a fun song called Skip to My Lou. Skip to My Lou is a children's song and a popular partner stealing dance. And this arrangement of Skip to My Lou for the piano uses 3 different bass lines. Let's have some fun! Okay, Skip to My Lou. Using notes from the C major scale, meaning we're in the key of C major. All right, let's practice our C major scale with both hands. Let's go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, back down, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. All right, good job, everyone. 2 hands. Okay, now let's note on the second page of this song, we're going to be using notes from the G major scale. So we'll be transposing to the key of G major. So let's practice our G major scale as well. Okay, remember there's 1 sharp, F sharp. Let's try it, hands together. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Back down, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. All right, excellent job, everyone. All right, we're going to take a quick peek and notice we're going to play the melody 3 times, right? So, and then we're going to play it again here. And each time we're playing a different type of bass line. So here we're going to play stride bass, okay? See that? And then here when we play the melody again, we're playing Alberti Bass, one of my favorites, okay? Then when we transpose to key of G, we're going to play a Boogie Woogie Bass. Time signature, 4-4, meaning we have 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets the beat, right? And you'll notice that we have some 8th notes, right? So we got to subdivide into 2, right? Into 8th notes right here, okay? So I'll go ahead and play it and count it for you, but it's not too complicated, right? So you follow along with your eyes and your ears, and we'll go in a nice, easy tempo. Here we go. I'll count off 4 for you, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 all right, let's stop right there. That's the portion with the stride bass, right? So let's take a look at the stride bass. So remember, stride bass basically has a bass note and a chord, right? Bass note, and then you jump up to a chord. So let's try it here. Let's start on this low C here, right? And we'll jump up. So we have C, chord, right? C, chord, G, chord, G, chord, C, chord, C, chord, G, chord, C. C again. Now let's move on to the Alberti Bass section, okay? So notice the melody has jumped up an octave, but it's exactly the same. All right, so let's try playing it up here. So we play down here first, but now we're going to jump up an octave, and I'll count off 4 for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 that's going to transpose us to a new key. But let's look at the bass line first. Okay, so for the Alberti bass portion, okay, we're going to play it up here, right? Remember, it tends to be in a higher register, and it's going to have that tinkly music box kind of sound, right? So I'll go ahead and count. Since we're doing 8th notes, I'll count for the first 2 measures, but then you know how to count the rest, right? So I'll stop counting after the first 2 measures. How about that? So starting on middle C, right? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, remember, we're getting ready for the new key there. All right, now time for the Boogie Woogie Bass portion. Now going into this, we're going into the key of G major from C major, right? So let's look at this last chord here, okay? We call that a modulation. So notice, let's look at the bass first this time. We see that it starts on a G and D, right? Okay, and then we have this little A sharp and B, okay? So let's try playing it. I'll count off for you, and then we'll go all the way through. Oh, before we start though, let's look at the second line here. Notice we went from G and D, right, up here, to the A sharp and B. But then we come to this next line, it's A and D, right? D in the bottom, A on top. And then we have an E sharp. So if this is E, E sharp is here. It looks like F, right? But this is E sharp as well. E sharp is the same as F, okay? E sharp. So we have E sharp, and then we have F sharp. See that? And then we put in parentheses that it's E sharp and F sharp again. But if it wasn't here, we would still know that it was E sharp and F sharp because it carries through the whole measure when you have an accidental. So let's go ahead and try playing it. I'm going to count the first two measures, but they're all eighth notes, right? They're pretty consistent. So after this, you count on your own and then just follow along with me. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now for the melody part of this boogie woogie section. It's gonna get a little jazzy and funky. So it's gonna sound kind of familiar, but it's not gonna be exactly the same as what we heard before. It's gonna be a little bit jazzier, a little bit more rhythmic. All right, so when we look at this, the first thing we see is an A sharp and a B right next to each other, right? A sharp and B. Woohoo, it sounds kind of funky. I like that, okay? And then notice we have an eighth note with 2 eighth rests and then an eighth note. And then an eighth note with 2 eighth rests and then an eighth note. Then an eighth note and 1 eighth rest and 2 eighth notes. So this one's going to be a little bit more complicated. So let's go ahead and count it all the way through. All right, so I'm going to play and count it and you follow along with me, okay? Here we go. Starting here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Good job, everyone. So we have a couple of options. Let's start right here with that A sharp and B. Now, you could play it with your 2 and 3 finger, like that, right? And then go down to the G with your 1 finger, back to 2 and 3, and then you'll be set up to play 3 on the B, and then up to D with your 5. So that's kind of nice. Or, for me, that's a little bit squeezy. It's a little squishy. So I might try 3 and 4. Okay. And then you can play the G there with your 1 finger. Okay. That's pretty comfortable for me. Back. And then I'll play 4 finger on the B, where it is anyway, right? And then just a little bit of a stretch up to the D. Okay. So if you have smaller fingers, you might want to go with the 2 and 3, and then so you can end on 5. Or you might want to go 3 and 4, and then stretch up to 5. So it's up to you, whatever's most comfortable for you. And then if we go down to the next line, same kind of decisions to make. You could go G sharp and A, 2 and 3, and then come down to the F sharp with the 1 finger. Okay. And then 3 to 5 again. Okay, so that's a nice option. Or You could also do 3 and 4. And then maybe I would play that F sharp with my 2 finger. And then 4, and then up to 5. A little bit of a stretch. So you try it out and you see what's most comfortable for you. Now for the last line, I do recommend you start with your 2 finger on the A, so that you can end with your 1 finger on the G. All right, so you're going to practice your right hand, then you're going to practice your left hand, slowly for both, right? Then you're going to put them together and play hands together. Okay, once you got that down, you're going to sing while you play. And for this one, maybe you might just want to sing for this first section with the stride bass, and then the Alberti bass and the Boogie Woogie Bass can be like an instrumental break, okay? And remember, don't forget, you also want to practice your solfege. So you can just do that with the stride bass portion as well. So today we learned Skip to My Lou with 3 different types of bass lines. So remember, keep practicing all your songs, sing while you play, and memorize everything. Prestissima out!